When you hear Chinese, how does it sound like?
Honestly, when I hear like Chinese among the streets, I don't know, it sounds like a very ancient language because it is.
When you hear it, is there any differences between the sound of the two languages?
I think Korean is more soft-spoken in a way, but it depends on the area, so like whether it's like from Busan or anywhere else.
How do you feel about Busan dialect?
I think it's quite aggressive, but it has like its charm points in a way. I think just the way they talk, it's just like 밥 못나. It's like stuff like that. It's very aggressive in a way, but 가가가가 아닌가? 에이 임마.
How does Chinese sound to you?
Kind of thing, it sounds really fast and like really in a way that it kind of sounds like they're always angry. I don't know.
It always sounds angry.
Yeah, for me it always sounds angry. The way they speak, they convey a lot of emotions. And as a language, like I like the sound of it.
It sounds angry, but you still like the sound of it?
Yeah, because I like angry sounds. I learned German because it sounds angry.
Then if you compare Chinese to German,
German is better. And Chinese is more 我是 like there's a lot of sh sound. Sometimes it's a bit like I feel like there's too much.
kind of sounds like the same pronunciation.
Yeah, it would be for me so hard because it just sounds like the same. Like I don't, if they say something, I feel like it's the same thing.
Where are you from?
I'm from Italy.
When you hear Chinese, how does it sound like?
Sounds a little bit weird. Like I cannot distinguish when they say a single particular word, but I would like to learn Chinese. Yeah, I can understand what they are talking about. I'm actually learning Korean, but Chinese it's so hard.
Is there any typical differences between the sound of the two languages?
Chinese sounds like I don't know, like interesting anyway. In Chinese, I cannot understand when they finish just a single word because everything sounds very connected to each other, to each word. And also I can understand if a Korean is mad, but when Chinese talk, it always seems like they are mad. But they are nice people, I think. I think compared to other Asian people, like Korean or Japanese, they are louder. Like Italian, we are loud too.
How does Chinese sound to you?
Honestly, I feel like they are not speaking. They're like mumbling and making some noises. Like it feels like they are not using any words. It's just about the sounds they make. Like honestly, this is like a and that's sort of thing. If you even listen carefully, you cannot catch a proper sound that sounds like a word. You know, in Korean, for example, like 갑시다 or like 가자, this is like a word. But Chinese people, they just connect everything, and they don't even. I feel like they don't breathe when they're speaking. They don't stop. They don't make any pauses, and it's a little bit confusing for me.
There's a lot of difference between Korean and Chinese language.
Yeah. First, when I came here, I felt like Korean is also really difficult. But now that I got used to it, but with Chinese, I don't know, like it's really difficult.
Then Chinese speak, you feel a little out loud.
Yeah, I think so. Compared to Korean people, they are a bit more louder.
If you imagine to learn Chinese,
I don't think that I will ever start learning Chinese because it's really difficult, first of all, and so I'm not planning to go to China anyway, and I'm not planning to, connect Chinese to my life in any way. I don't think I will ever start learning Chinese.
where are you from?
I'm from Germany.
How do you feel when you hear Chinese?
I like Chinese people. When I traveled to Thailand, it was really nice. I really liked the people. I made some good friends. But when they travel in groups, they tend to be really loud. Same as Americans. You can definitely hear them a lot when they travel in big groups. Travel groups, and they have those big travel buses. They have one leader with a little flag, and then you notice them a lot because then they tend to become really loud.
If you keep hearing them, it's kind of annoying.
Depends where you are. Like if it's maybe in an environment which is supposed to be more quiet, like a museum, it can be a bit disturbing, but generally I wouldn't say it's annoying just because it's Chinese. Americans are really loud too, so...
You think American also are loud?
Yeah, Americans are also very loud. So
In your opinion, is there louder language than Chinese?
the American English. That's very loud. And I don't know, maybe Russian, German, also a loud language.
How about Korean?
I like Korean, I'm trying to learn Korean. It's also very aggressive sometimes. When Koreans talk fast, it becomes like rap and very strong. I'm kind of intimidated sometimes.
Where are you from?
I'm from Spain, Madrid. It's very different compared to Spanish or English. So when I hear it, it sounds quite strong, like the pronunciation. And also I know there's a lot of different accents because I studied Chinese for a while, like years ago, but I don't remember. Well, Spanish we can be very loud, but
Then is there differences between Chinese and Korean?
yeah, I think so. Like Korean in my case, it sounds more soft. So the consonants can be similar in a way. In my case, they're very more easy to pronounce compared to Chinese.
Most people say that Korean sounds soft, but it is also true that at times it sounds loud.
Yeah, I guess it's because for example, double consonants or Koreans, they love to express. I know you can conjugate the verbs to give it more your personality. Some people might speak more loud in a way.
You think also Korean is more like expressive language?
Yeah, I think it's very expressive. For example, I know we say 먹어요, but I know a lot of Koreans say oh 먹지, they add the chi at the end. Oh 빨리 빨리 빨리. Korean people are always saying 빨리 빨리.
Many Korean really say a lot.
My teacher always saying 빨리 빨리.
Then what's the most difficult thing in studying Korean?
Listening can be quite okay, but I think conjugation verbs can be a bit difficult because there's so many variations, and there's the polite way, not so impolite. So it gets very confusing because you have to be considerate with who you're speaking to, and because I'm a foreigner, I'm learning more polite. So if I meet a friend, they're like, oh, you don't have to be so formal.
Where are you from?
Hi, I'm from Mexico. I'm studying Korean. Also, I'm a content creator.
How does Chinese sound to you?
Obviously, it sounds different than Korean. For me, it sounds more high pitch, and they speak a little bit more with their nose.
They speak like nose.
A little bit, yeah, compared to Korean, and a little bit faster. Korean is a little bit more like a wave. Chinese is more very high, very low. Japanese is more cut. Their voice, it sounds a little bit loud sometimes.
Could you give me your own experience? Why did you feel like that?
When you live in other countries, the only Chinese that you listen to, older people in markets. So normally you hear them talk to each other from the other side. So they yell a little bit. That's why it sounds a little bit loud.
Even if they just talk casually.
Yes, sometimes. When Koreans speak, they don't articulate that much. They don't move their face that much. Also, I feel that Korean is a little bit deeper, they speak more with their chest. Chinese a little bit more with their nose.
Koreans speak with their chest.
Lower, when you try to speak Korean, it goes lower into your chest area. Because every language has a different place, in your palate or in your nose or in your throat. So I feel that Korean is more in the chest and throat a little bit. Yeah.
Then if I ask about Japanese,
I feel that Japanese is a little bit stronger than Korean. Men speak, for me it sounds like they are arguing with each other. It's a little bit stronger compared to Korean and Chinese.
Chinese feels very hard to learn for sure. I mean, I'm not a pro for sure, but it's the different sounds and accents that Chinese has. I don't know how it differs from Mandarin to Cantonese, but I know from overall it's different accents, and also the characters that are very much precise, and that to remember everything, it's really hard. So to be honest, I feel I would have to dedicate my whole life to learning Chinese, to be honest.
almost impossible.
Yeah, I feel it's almost impossible.
When you heard Chinese talking,
I feel I always hear them everywhere I go because they always travel. I feel in France, in Korea, or even Germany or Spain, I always hear some Chinese.
if I ask about the differences between Chinese and Korean,
Chinese and Korean, I feel Korean is a bit easier to read, of course, because I guess King Sejong, the king, right, who probably, I don't know yet, I'm not a pro Korean, but he probably has some of the same roots So I feel like the more you study Korean, for example, the more it maybe resemble Chinese, and the more harder it's gonna get.